Hello, once again. Thank you very much for staying with us. This is a new day from TV3 Studios at Adesawe. All right, let's do something that is of key concern to every one of us, especially myself, which has to do with savings and then, preparing yourself for the future. HFC Bank, one of the leading banks in the country, has come up with a project called the Youth Save Project. Now, over the years, there have been concerns about the lack of saving habits, especially among Ghanaians and the youth specifically. As part of the efforts to address this issue, HFC introduced its Youth Save Project, and I've been joined by some executives from HFC to walk through how this is going to help us, especially going into the future. And I have on my extreme right Rani Deshpande, who is the director of Youth Save Project, and then also right beside me we have Adeziwa Otu. She is the Youth Save Project manager for Ghana, and in between the two beautiful ladies we have Lord Koramo, and he is the head of marketing for HFC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right, thank you very much. So to begin with, what is Youth Save Project?
So the Youth Save Project is a consortium project created in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation and led by Save the Children in partnership with a range of very qualified research partners. And we set the project up in 4 countries, including Ghana, to look at how savings accounts, a safe savings mechanism for young people aged 12 to 18, could help them not only set up for their economic futures to invest in their education or to start a business, but also how it could help them in other domains, such as how they think about themselves and their future, how well they do in school, and their health-related outcomes as well. Because there has been research in other parts of the world showing that if you help young people build savings in their own name, it has a range of economic effects, but also youth development effects as well.
Was there a particular reason or something that triggered this decision to come up with the Youth Save Project?
Sure. So over the last several years, there's been growing interest in this mechanism, as I think people have recognized that pathways out of poverty aren't only about income. They're not only about what you get, but how well you manage what you get and what you keep at the end of the day, your assets.
Right.
And so this whole current of asset building was growing in interest among researchers, among nonprofit organizations like ourselves, like Save the Children, that focus on children and young people, among donors and policymakers as well as financial institutions. But there wasn't a lot of information out there about how to actually make it happen, how to make a safe savings product that was commercially sustainable and yet impactful for young people and for society at large.
Let's narrow the discussion down to Ghana, and I'm bringing you in, Adeziwa. You are the Youth Save Project manager for Ghana specifically. How is the savings culture like for especially among the Ghanaian youth?
So it's a common knowledge that the savings culture in Ghana is very low, and it's estimated that only 30% of Ghanaians have an account, a bank account, either savings or current. So if you talk about young people, it's very, very minimal or non-existent. Anyway, our regulation says that anyone below the age of 18 cannot operate an account. So basically, we have a regulation that keeps a lot of young people out of their account. And if you might testify, your first account, you got it when you were in the university or polytechnic, when you had to access the student loan. So young people grow into the financial system with only credit in mind. And savings is a habit. It's like learning a language. If you don't learn it when you are young, you can't do it when you are old. And that is why as a country we have a low domestic savings base. And any country that has a poor domestic savings base, you don't have money for development, so you always have to borrow. So this whole idea is to inculcate into young people the whole concept of saving. And you know that a recent census tells us that Ghana is a youthful population. We have over 40% of the population being young, and a chunk of this, more than 20%, are between the ages of 10 to 18 years. So we have a huge population. So if you are training this group of people on how to save, you are sure that you have a generation who are savings oriented, a generation who will be learning how to build assets. But one focus of this project is low income youth.
Okay.
We've realized that the pathway to getting out of poverty is building assets. How do you build assets? By savings. So this whole project also wanted to look at how does savings affect the livelihoods of young people. So it's not just about working with HFC Bank, but we also worked with ESEF, which is one of the biggest research institutions in Ghana, to monitor and record how giving young people, especially those from low-income backgrounds, access to secured savings impacts on their psychosocial well-being. So it's a very in-depth research project. I want to thank both the Save the Children Consortium led by Save the Children, both the USAID Consortium led by Save the Children and HFC Bank for making this possible.
Lord, I'll bring you in here. Your outfit, one of the leading certainly in the country, seems to go in this particular direction because of a gap you've seen that you want to fill. How do you intend to go about it, and what can one do if they want to undergo this particular SAVE project, if they want to start?
Well, I think as a bank, we are continually reviewing our operations and the products and services that we offer to our customers, obviously to the mutual benefits of both the bank and the economy as a whole. And that's why we found the partnership with Save the Children and Youth Save very, very important. So based on research that the partners did and our own internal research mechanisms, we came up with a product which is the HFC Enidaso product, which is a product actually designed by the youth and meant for the youth and targeted at a particular segment, which is children between the ages of 12 to 18 in both rural and urban areas. I mean 12 to 18 because, like Adazua said, we are also guided by the financial regulator. Right. And as a child, anybody between less than 18 years, you cannot operate an account on your own. So this is a custodial account. So to answer your question directly, it is really part of what we do as a bank, always looking at bringing in products and services that meet the demands of Ghanaians and also for economic sustainability.
And how is it going to work out? Is it going to be from the parent side, or are you going to deal with the children or the people involved directly?
I think you look at it from two sides of the coin. The main targets are the children. One, because we want to help them to develop a saving culture, looking at it from a pure futuristic banking purpose so that in future they will know that, look, whenever you have money, you need to save. But then again, because of the custodial aspect of it, you need the parents because then they have to guide the children as to what to save. When the child needs to withdraw from the account, the permission of the parent is sought. So it's from both sides of the coin. We're working with the parents, but the main focus is also the children.
Rani, you seem to have spoken from a more globalized perspective or a wider angle. What are the examples you can give as to the benefits that can come out as a result of this particular project?
Sure. So I think the key one is really a change in mentality and developing the habits of mind, the discipline, the tolerance for delayed gratification that set you up for success in so many other areas of your life, not just financial or not just savings related. The second I would cite is that the overwhelming majority of kids who have become part of the Youth Save project, and around the world there are about 120,000 young people who have opened accounts, the vast majority of them say that they are saving for their education. And so I think the benefits of that are self-explanatory.
Great. Adezua, how, I'm sure the project has already been launched in Ghana. How's the reception been?
Okay, so the project has been in Ghana for the past 5 years. It was a 5-year research project. So it's about bringing out a product and then monitoring the impact on young people. And the outcomes have been very interesting and insightful. One, we realized before the project, there was a lot of fear. Generally, or culturally, we say young people cannot save. They don't have enough money to save. But the reality is that young people are saving. And we're amazed at how they are saving. In holes, under mattresses, they have susu clubs in their schools. And the bottom line is that they were losing their money. So young people are interested in saving, but our regulation says they can't save. So this project gave them the opportunity to save in a secured environment. And as I said, it just doesn't give them a savings habit, but it affects their esteem. Our research tells us that they like going to the banking hall And when they go into the banking hall, they see themselves transacting business with older people. They feel good about themselves. We have children who have taught their parents how to use the ATM. Some of their parents thought that the bank was all about English and quote people. We have children who have walked their parents into the bank. We have children who know that when I have 50 pesos, I can go to the bank and save. They take their coins to the bank, they pour it down. We have children who can fill deposit slips when their parents are afraid to fill deposit slips. So we've built a whole generation of children who are bank friendly. We have a huge generation of Ghanaians who are bank phobia. So I think that this has been one of the good outcomes of the project. Children are not afraid of the bank.
Yeah.
They can go into the bank, they know what a customer service person does, they know what a teller does, they know how to fill a deposit slip.
I obviously was excited when I had opened my first bank account. I felt good, and comes with a bit of swag when you walk out of the bank, and you know that yes, it makes you feel a bit of an adult. But are there any negatives that you have seen, and how do you intend to address that, Lord?
Before I answer that, let me also add to what Adazua said, that we've also had the children coming into the banking also role play the roles that we as bankers play. Okay. I mean, just for them also to feel excited and to have this idea that, look, I am saving today, but I can end up actually being a banker also serving others. So we've picked children from all levels, all regions. They come into the banking also for a day or two, work as a treasurer, a customer service person, just to, the excitement of the experience. In actual fact, there were some fears initially from parents. I mean, with the idea that, look, if you want to get my child to save, is my child going to engage in the social vice to get money to save? No. We've engaged the parents. We've done some education for both the children and the parents for them to know that you don't need to engage in social vice to get to save. If you have any, this is a typical African society where you have families giving you a CD or two at a particular point in time. The little that you have, all we are saying is that you don't need more than a CD to save or a peso to save. Whatever that you have that you think you don't have need for at that particular time, drop it into your HFC and it does work out. So those fears, let me just say, have been mitigated by the education that we've done for both parents and the children.
Rani, what is the sustainability mechanism put in place to ensure that there is a clear future for this project?
So I think we at YouthSave really think about two quote-unquote paths to scale, because our ultimate goal is to make safe savings opportunities available for as many young people globally, not just in Ghana, as possible. One of those paths is through the private sector. It's by getting the whole financial sector to follow the example of innovators like HFC and see that there is a long-term, it's not a short-term, but it's a long-term business case for cultivating youth savers and cultivating, as Ades was saying, really a generation of financially savvy customers, which in the long run is better for the financial sector, is better for the economy as a whole. And then the second path to scale is really a policy path, and looking with policymakers at how we can make it easier for these safe savings opportunities to come into existence. The Bank of Ghana has been very forward-thinking in working, I think, with our project to create a custodial account category, which didn't exist before in Ghana, which has allowed really young people to take more ownership over the accounts than was previously allowed. But there's still a lot more that can be done to facilitate these kinds of opportunities with respect, for example, to slightly easing identification requirements, with respect to the need for a trusted adult, and so forth.
Great. Ades, walk me through the process. If I am between the age category and I have, what is the minimum I can use, I can start with, or what do I do if I have some money and I want to start saving?
So this was an HFC question, but let me try answering. Okay, so HFC Bank being very dynamic, and with the help, with the support of Bank of Ghana, we need to commend Bank of Ghana for their support throughout the process. You need just 2 cedis, less than $1, to open your HFC NIDASO account if you are between the ages of 12 to 18 years. Okay. And as Lord rightly put it, the whole idea is to get young people to enter into the bank. So with your 2 cedis, you need a trusted adult. It can be a parent or anybody above the age of 18 years. It can be your big brother, your big sister, or it can even be your teacher or your headmistress. And this, you are running the account, but because you are a minor, you have the trusted adult for supervision and security. You can go to the bank, any HFC bank, to deposit your money. But when you want to withdraw, you need the trusted adult to sign your checkbook for you. Or you can even go to the bank with the trusted adult to open to withdraw.
Okay. All right. We're grateful to have all of you join us to explain this to us.